Hello, and welcome to the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC Atlanta, Buckley versus Usman, give you a preview, predictions for every fight on the card. But first, I got to bring in my co-host, and you've seen this guy before. This isn't a new face, but last night, our UFC genie, uh, the judges said split decision. Personally, I had a 30-25. I don't know what they were talking about. The victorious UFC genie. How you doing today?
I'm doing incredible, man. I'm a little sore, but
Yeah, let's
that's to
see
be
it.
expected. And you know, to the victor
Nice.
goes the spoils, man.
Yeah, I kind of came on short-ish notice. We'd heard rumors for a few months, but
Yep.
UFC Genie victorious in we're gonna call it his Muay Thai re-debut after they robbed him last time. Um, yeah, split decision. You got a knockdown in round one, I
Yep.
believe. I watched it last night, but um, looked pretty good. Didn't get hurt at all. No bruising, I can see. Usually, you'd think you have a
There's
black eye or something.
yeah, there's a slight mark on my eye, but other than that,
Yeah.
still a pretty face.
Love it. So yeah, is this the start of a one championship title run
We're
in
going
Muay
all the
Thai
way
or
to the
something?
top, man. We're going all the way to the top. We're
All the way to
soon
the
to
top.
be PFL, GFL world champion. You know,
Wow. You can claim that. Nobody would dispute you if you said GFL World Champion. I mean, they don't even have money to sue you these days.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, love it. So I take it this is not the last time we'll see UFC Genie in some kind of cage or ring.
I will return. I'm thinking there's a tournament in September. If everything goes well, then you can expect me to see me there.
Love it. All right. Well, today we do have to talk about a few less accomplished fighters. I'll say that. UFC Atlanta, going down this Saturday, June 14th. Usman versus Buckley. God, I don't even. This is quite the fight card. First, though, let's take a step back. We're recording this on Sunday. We had some technical, we had some guests fall through, so we're recording a little late. But we do get to do a UFC 316 recap.
Oh
So
yeah.
it went down last night, the seventh in New Jersey Prudential Center. It was an interesting card. I wasn't as high on it going in. I kind of thought it was a mid card, especially for a pay-per-view. Sean O'Malley gets choked out by Merab Dvalishvili.
AI
Kayla
didn't happen.
Harrison, it did happen. And we, luckily, actually, I did not bet on Sean O'Malley. Um, Kayla Harrison submits Juliana Pena. Hopefully, Pena retires. Patchy Mix debuted with a wet fart. So, Jeannie, I'll ask you this, and I'll ask you two questions. The first one, post event, give it a rating. You know how we do with the usual rating, whatever your scale is. Let's hear it.
Listen, this might be a controversial take. The main event for me, that docks it down a couple
Wow.
rating
Okay.
spots. That brings it down. It's got to be 7 out of 10, maybe.
7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I'm still being generous there. I think it was a good
Probably.
event, but yeah, man, I can't take it anymore. I just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably give it like a B minus. I don't know. The main card the last two fights kind of saved it because it was pretty bad. The prelims, not great. We had a few good finishes, but for the most part, it's kind of mid all up and down the card. Even the Patchy Mix debut was mid. Boring, like entertainment wise. Main top two saved it, so B minus for me. For a pay-per-view, probably like a C minus, C maybe. UFC's kind of watched these days, but um, that is how it goes. And then the second, they gave out their performance bonuses. Um, Four out of the five finishes, Joshua Van didn't get one. So I'll
Yeah,
ask
that
you a
was.
second question. You didn't agree with that?
I thought Joshua Van should have got it for sure. That was.
I think they should have done five, but it was probably the worst finish out of the five, Joshua Vance was. So, it's not that big a deal. I don't really care that much. So, Jeannie, I'll ask another question for you. And these can be fighters on the card or off the card. Could be a non-fighter too. You're Canadian, you like your hockey, so let's go 3 stars from UFC 316.
Mario Batista.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
First star is Mario Bautista.
yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. You know, you get a guy that's getting completely written off leading up to the card. Everyone was I mean, I was a victim of it too. I kind of glazed Patchy a bit too much. I thought that he was gonna
Hmm.
make easy work of Mario, but
He
Mario
was my
showed off
lock.
his skills. He showed off his UFC experience. You know, he's got to get credit. Marab, I got to start giving this guy his flowers, or
Yeah.
I mean, at some point he's gonna retire, and I've never picked him to win a fight. So,
Wow. That's
yeah.
crazy.
Um,
Even against Cejudo, you pick Cejudo?
I think I no, I think I picked Marab against Cejudo, but everyone else,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Kayla Harrison is the third star. I
Okay.
mean, no, I don't want to hear it anymore. She is a legit world champion, and it doesn't matter that it was another
Yeah.
organization because it's now the UFC. You know,
Yeah.
Penna was acting like she was a
Mm,
walk in the park. Like, how are you gonna beat me? How is Penna ever gonna win that fight? You know, and Kayla
yeah.
won it exactly how I said she was gonna win, second round submission. So, got to give her props.
That's weird. Was there a second fight? Did Kayla fight some woman named Penna last night? That's still we had a whole internal clip about that. It's not like the noodle. Shout out Garrett.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think two champs, one old, one new champs are you gotta be in the stars for the night, right? I mean, winning a belt, even defending a belt, just one of the craziest things anybody can do in the sport, UFC especially. And third star, listen, I could give it to Joshua Van. I could give it to Osman Mirzakhanov. I guess there was a sixth, but you can't really give Osman Mirzakhanov a performance bonus for knocking out Brenson Hibero. Yeah, I could even give it to Waldo Cortez Acosta for having one of the weirdest fights of all time, I think. Maybe. I'm gonna give the third star, surprisingly, I'm gonna give it to Larissa Pacheco. Larissa Pacheco, um, only woman to ever defeat Kayla Harrison, uh, and kind of just maybe this is more representational for PFL as a whole, but it shows, some of these worst divisions, PFL Bellator champions can come over, or share um, the top 10, whatever, top five, and actually be competitive. Pacheco defeated um, Harrison last, no, in 2022. And then you look at some other PFL, maybe the star does go to PFL Bellator because Bautista sure looked bad or sure looked good against Patchy Mix, and Bautista's pretty middling. Um, Bantamweight, in my opinion, but you look at some other stars who have come over. You look at some stars who have come from the UFC uh, to the PFL and just kind of looked mid over there too. So I think people are kind of silly when they say, "Oh, UFC is the best stars," or Bellator can compete. I think it's such a case by case basis. And having one of their former champions who has lost to somebody who is a champion in PFL kind of shows, oh, Pacheco could beat Juliana Pena if she was the one who came over and fought Pena. I would have picked her too, and it's just interesting. So anyway, we are not here to talk about UFC 316. Also, you've spent a little too long on it already, the 7 minutes or whatever. So let's get into UFC Fight Night Usman versus Buckley. It's going down Saturday, June 14th, 6 p.m. prelims, right? 7 p.m. prelims, 10 p.m. Eastern main card. It's gonna be a late one. We'll be getting on there about 12:30, maybe somewhere around there. 13 fights. We have five ranked fighters on the card out of those 13 fights. Jeannie, I don't know if you saw this. Obviously, the top two fights of the four out of the five. Do you know who the fifth ranked fighter is on this card? If you go to Wikipedia,
Miranda
Wikipedia or
Maverick.
Tapology, she's in the top two fights. Besides the top two fights,
Okay.
this is going to be tough. I'd be surprised if you get this. If you go to Wikipedia or Tapology, you can see them without their UFC rankings next to their name.
Uh,
I know. Isn't it a tough one? There's a trap here too. There's a trap you can fall into.
I'm not too sure.
All
It's like
right.
Cody Garbrandt.
Cody Garbrandt, no. God, no. Alonzo Menafield.
Oh,
Because I can see how many, I have a little program that I run that gathers all the information, and I'm like, oh, five. I played this game myself. I could have sworn it would have been one of the women's flyweights. Maybe, well, I guess Demopoulos would be ranked as strawweight, no, but Jamie Lynn Horth. Maybe even you could convince me like Rodolfo Bellato could be a top 15 ranked guy at light heavyweight. Alonzo Menafield. Um, Interesting is what I'll say. For the most part, the cards kept together. Teresa Bleda pulled out of her fight with Jamie Lynn Horth in steps Vanessa Demopoulos. We'll talk about that fight in a second. And there's a Alexander Volkov, Jilton Almeida fight reported. Fortunately, it fizzled out. I would have really liked to see that. I'm a big fan of both guys. But yeah, going down to Atlanta, Georgia, I will actually be there live in person with somebody who I wanted to be on the show, but alas. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. State Farm Arena should be a good one. Now, Jeannie, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked about 316, but from a pre-fight perspective, who or what are you giving this card overall rating wise?
6 out of 10. I think it's not the best. Like I mean, the main event and co-main are not bad. You get Rose Namajunas, Joaquin Buckley, and Kamaru Usman, but that's not enough to completely pull like to elevate the card enough. I don't think. There, the rest of the card seems like there might be some good fights, but I don't know. There's not enough name value there for me. I'd say 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10.
All right, fair enough. I'm probably going to B minus as well. I think it's going to be a fun time. I will be there, and I'll tell you, I would much rather be at this event than 316, just from an entertainment standpoint. So maybe I'll give it a B because it's kind of influencing my thought process a little bit. You bring your friend, you bring your family, you want them to. They don't care if I don't know. They don't care if Carl Craig is washed. They don't care if Michael Chiesa and Court McGee are way too old to be realistically competing at welter or in the UFC. They don't care. They want to see they're casuals. They want to see people punching each other in the face and getting knocked out. I think there's going to be a lot of that on this card. So um, let's jump right in to a fight. I don't think we're going to be seeing a knockout. I would, you know what? I say that. Let's hope we do. Let's hope we see an uh, knockout or maybe a cool submission, maybe a good fight. These are two women who don't often get in good fights. I'll say that. Anyway, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jamie Lynn Horth at flyweight. Um, this is short notice for Demopoulos. She's stepping in, going up a division. She normally fights at strawweight. She's going to be giving up 6.5 inches of reach, 5 inches of height. Surprisingly, same age. Both these women are, 35, 36. I thought they were going to be. Oh, sorry, my cat wants to get in. I thought they were going to be a little bit younger. Just both, not having been in the UFC or MMA for that long. Plus 385 for Demopoulos, minus 500 for Jamie Lynn Horth. So big discrepancy there. Demopoulos lost her last one by decision to Tuita Alencar. Horth lost her last one by decision to Miranda Maverick. I was actually there. So Jeannie, you kick us off here. You're technically the guest, even though you're pretty much a host at this point. Are you going with a huge favorite, the Canadian, or are you picking the how do I say it gently? Uh,
Terrible fighter.
woman of the night. Oh, well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Who are you going with here?
I mean, I would love to flirt with the idea of a Demopolis split decision here. As much it's happened like twice in the UFC. I picked it one time against I can't remember the last split decision when she got there, but it doesn't matter. She's at a huge reach disadvantage, a huge height
Yeah.
disadvantage. And listen, Jamie Lynn Horth's losses, they're not that bad. Miranda
No.
Maverick, we've seen like she's on a run. She's in the co-main against Rose Namajunas. And Veronica Hardy, I mean, she's got a good coach. She's always a
Yeah.
good game planner. Always close fights with her. I think the level of competition is just a bit better for Jamie Lynn Horth. There's probably a bit more octagon time for Vanessa Demopoulos, I think, but
Hmm.
she's losing most of the time, and
Yeah.
she's gonna lose this time. I'm picking that. There's no point to spend this much time. We're taking Jamie Lynn Horth by decision.
Yeah. Takedown accuracy 11% for Vanessa Demopoulos. Horth has been taken down a good bit, 72% defense. A lot of those were against Maverick. I think Maverick went 2 for 9. And she's just going to be a lot stronger too. She was uh, kind of out muscling Miranda Maverick. Miranda Maverick just kind of had Maverick was getting out muscled but out hustled Jamie Lynn Horth. If that makes sense. So I think this is pretty much a Horth win. Definitely a decision. I don't think. I mean, Horth has some knockouts and submissions, but I think this is a pretty clear 30-27, maybe 29-28. I kind of doubt that Demopoulos gets her down because I don't think she's winning on the feet, but it is what it is. We'll jump on the next fight. 170 welterweights, Phil Rowe and Angelusa. Minus 150 for Angelusa. Surprised me a little bit. Plus 130 on the other side for Phil Rowe. Um, Lusa lost his last fight by decision to Bonfim. That was a little under a year ago. Gabriel Bonfim, excuse me. I guess they're a weight class apart, right? Sometimes you have to um, clarify that. Rowe on the other side uh, has lost 2 in a row. If you include the grappling in there, he's won his last one, but he lost to Craig Jones by flying triangle choke. Oh, I remember that in last February. Um, Also been out for a little under a year. Uh, oh, I guess it'll be a little over a year. June 1st of last year, he lost the unanimous decision to Jake Matthews. Um, Two guys who need a bout of back fight. Rose going to have 6.5 inches of reach, 5 inches of height, and a few years older, 34 instead of 31 for Angelusa. Um, I'll go here. I was kind of surprised at these odds. You can get Angelusa for minus 150. Obviously, you kind of know the game plans here. Lusa has shown us a little more grappling recently. He's been averaging a good number of takedowns. He got 6 over McKee. Phil Rowe on the other side, not the greatest takedown defense, 56%. He usually has, having what did I say, 80-inch reach? Yeah, 80-inch reach at welterweight. He's usually going to be the longer striker. So I think there's going to be Angelusa pushing him to the fence. Probably taking home 2 out of the 3 rounds. Definitely a split decision. I think there's going to be a pretty boring fight, in my opinion. But give me Angelusa. Am I confident? Not at all. But maybe if Phil Rowe wins, he'll get a knockout. Maybe. Um, Kind of doubt it though. See, where you at here?
Um, I think Lusa he mixes it up a bit better than Philip Rowe. Philip Rowe recently he's been a bit flat on the feet. Like
Yeah.
he likes to stay out range. He has a big reach advantage here again, and he's a lot taller. He's got a good jab, but he doesn't mix it up.
No.
He's got movement and a good jab, but he doesn't throw enough strikes. He lets himself get leg kicked. And of Lusa, this is what Lusa does. He bursts in and he throws like five punch combos,
Yeah.
and he gets up on the strikes. He'll get you taken down. He'll grind you out. So I'll take Ange Lusa here. I'm a lot more confident in him to get a victory than Philip Rowe. Philip Rowe really disappointed me against Jake Matthews. He got
Yeah.
outstruck a lot by Jake Matthews, and it's like at a certain point you got to get yourself back in the fight. And at no point did he try to. He was just he accepted getting outstruck three
Yeah.
rounds.
Yeah, it was a weird fight. The Phil Rowe Neil Magny fight too. I was there live for. Really boring. Did he get robbed? Maybe. Um, but at the same time, it was such a boring fight, and he's just not using his skills. I mean, he's only what did I say, 34, which it's not old at welterweight, but I don't know. He just looks kind of out there, not there. Angelus doesn't look great, but it's just not a fight we want to spend too much time on. It's just one of those figure out who we might cut or who we're gonna feed to an up and comer fights. So anyway, moving on. Bantamweights. This one should be. I'm hoping this one should be a good bit more exciting. This was my fight of the week or fight of the event from last week. And might be on track for fight of the night. Like I would if you give me plus 300 odds for fighting the night for this fight, I might take that, honestly. Ricky Simone, Charles Jourdain. Simone's your minus 160 favorite. Coming back on the other side is plus 140 for Charles Jourdain. Simone had that crazy knockout of Javid Basharat at UFC Seattle in February. Before that, he was on a three-fight losing streak. Charles Jourdain on the other side moved down to bantamweight pretty recently, last fight in November, and Gilly choked Victor Henry. So going to be a good fight. Two vets, despite being pretty young. I was surprised at both of their ages. Jourdain is 29, Simone is 32, despite both of them having 10 plus fights in the UFC. Same reach. Jourdain's going to have a few inches of height. Obviously, the question is, can he make bantamweight? He did it decently easily last time enough. So thought is yes. So Jimmy, you going with the Canadian here or the American? He's not fighting out of Atlanta. Where is he fighting out of? Vancouver, Washington. I didn't know that.
Interesting. Vancouver, Washington.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Interesting. So listen, Ricky Simone, this is a guy that got written off last fight. I was a
Yeah.
victim of it. I wrote him off. I said he was. I probably used the term washed at the time. He's only 32 years old.
Yeah.
He's not that old, and after a knockout like that, that's all you need to get the confidence back. And
Hmm.
then you start having the conversation of, oh, those three losses that he has, they're not like the three losses in a row. They're not bad competition. He's Mario Batista, Vinicius Oliveira, Song
Yeah.
Yadong. These guys are top
Top
10
15.
ranked, top 15 ranked, and
Yeah.
like that's not bad losses at all. You go to Charles Jourdain, and I'm not hating on the guy, but he could control his way or get a submit. I just don't see him getting a takedown or controlling Ricky Simone. He's too strong. He's got a good
Hmm.
American wrestling background, and I see Ricky Simone winning this fight by decision.
Got Simone by decision. Jourdain gave up 4 takedowns to Victor Henry, eventually subbed him. He gave up one to Sean Woodson, two to Ramos in one round. None to Kron Gracie though. That was an interesting fight. Let's just say that. And honestly, I think if Jourdain wants to win here, I don't think he's really winning on the feet. I don't think he's knocking out Ricky Simone. Simone's pretty durable. He did get KO'd by Uriah Faber and Yadong late in the fight. I don't really think that's going to happen here. I don't think he's going to get subbed. Um, could it happen? Absolutely. He got rear naked choked back in Titan FC almost 10 years ago. That being said, he's just power. He's got wrestling. Jourdain, great fighter, but Ricky Simone, I think, probably still top 25. And I don't think Jourdain's at that level. So I'm with you on the American against the Canadian. Let's see what's up next. Cody Durden versus Jose Ochoa at 125. Now, this is a an interesting fight. Durden trains out of American top team Gwinnett. It's close to here. It says Atlanta, Georgia. Head coach Diego Lima. Okay, so it's yeah, it's American top team something down here. Sandy Springs, maybe. Either way, Atlanta. It's going to say Atlanta when they read out his name, and he's going to get a pop versus Jose Ochoa, who is from Peru. Ochoa minus 187 favorite. Durden plus 162 on the other side. Another one that kind of surprised me. Ochoa, um, Calzifer is his nickname. I would be interested to know if that's from Hell's Moving Castle. I don't think so, but I'll do some digging next time you're talking. Most recently, made his debut in the UFC against Loner Kavanaugh, lost the decision. Closer than I thought it was going to be. On the other side, Cody Durden, vet, 12 fights in the UFC, lost to Josh Van last time out in December. So, yeah, pretty interesting fight. Up and comer versus vet, same reach, same height. Durden's 34, Ochoa's 24. So this one is me. I'll say I was pretty surprised at these odds. I think Cody Durden, you look at his record, he's lost to uh, some guys who are not, they're good, they're top level, they're not the highest level. Like he lost to Joshua Van, very good fighter. We just saw Bruno Silva, good fighter. I mean, he was winning that fight until he got caught. To Yuri Bekov, he got subbed. But he also has wins over Charles Johnson, JP Buys, Matt Schnell, a little lower. Maybe Charles Johnson's a little higher, but a little lower. So the question is, can Cody Durden get his wrestling going? Where's Jose Ochoa gonna strike on the feet with him? Think this might be Cody Durden's fight to win. Listen, Loner Kavanaugh went 0 for 2 versus Jose Ochoa. Was he really going for those? I went back and watched a little bit. I don't think they were like full force. I need this takedown like Cody Durden will be. Could I see the young shootbox trained Ochoa just kind of shucking those off and KOing Durden, maybe catching him in a gilly or something? I don't like that face you're making. Yes, but I think, Jose Ochoa has not beaten anybody close to the level of Cody Durden or people Cody Durden's beat. So until I see something, give me the underdog. Give me the Atlanta-born, or at least raised Cody Durden. I don't. What was that face you're making? You think he's going to KO Cody Durden, Jose Ochoa?
I don't think a KO, but listen, Jose Ochoa, he was right in there in that Lonnie Kavanaugh fight.
Yeah.
I remember in the second round, he was landing these good body shots. I'm saying I remember, but I rewatched it today. He landed nice body shots, and then he took the back close submission attempt.
Hmm.
Ochoa is a guy where if he smells a single second of an opportunity for a finish, he is diving for it. And
Yeah.
Durden, I could see him maybe outlanding Jose Ochoa on the feet. You look at his record, and everyone on Topology and everyone's going to be picking Jose Ochoa to win this fight by knockout. So I think I got the jump here. I see a guy from Shootbox training with guys like Charles Oliveira. He's going to be diving on the back. If Cody Durden shoots a silly takedown from out of range,
Yeah.
he's going to get his
Yeah.
neck taken in a guillotine. And Jose Ochoa is going to win by sub.
Sub. I could see it. I could see it. I don't think you said taking the back. I don't know about that. Cody Durden I think he's more of like a guillotine anaconda on a bad shot kind of guy after getting hurt.
Yeah.
But please continue. I see the vision. I see the
Yeah.
vision.
There's 4 sub losses for Durden, and I will say I have a few more notes for Ochoa's like stand up. He hands low. His hands are very low. He's like a Nate Diaz. He likes to keep them at his hips. He bursts in. He's really heavy on his lead leg. So there is ways for Cody Durden to game plan on the feet and win on the feet. I could see a lot of leg kicks, a lot of jabs, but I see Jose Ochoa getting it done. I do. His last wins by sub, he only has one on the record, but I do see another one coming.
All right. Well, looks like we have our first disagreement there. Pretty interesting. I'd say probably better fight if Ochoa wins. It's probably a more entertaining fight. Durden can be pretty boring. He can be entertaining, but can be pretty boring. So let's move on to the next one. This was made what last
This week,
last
like 2 days
Wednesday.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially short notice for both of them. Despite that, still go down to bantamweight. So we got Chris Moutinho and Malcolm Wellmaker. Wellmaker, have you seen these odds, Jeannie?
No, what are the odds?
Take a guess. Take a guess.
Minus 800?
Minus 1300
Oh my.
for Malcolm Wellmaker. Plus 775 on the other side for Chris Moutinho.
Oh man.
Yes, that Chris Moutinho, the Milford, Massachusetts, New England cartel zone, notably lost to Sean O'Malley, short notice, and then Guido Canetti uh, went and did some regional shit, 5 wins, all by finish against bums for the most part on the regional scene, New England regional scene, which should tell you something. Malcolm Wallmaker made his debut not that long ago in April against Cameron Simon. Um, Knocked him out. That was a great KO, and I value Simon. Uh, so kind of a weird fight. We know why it's being made though. Malcolm Wellmaker fights out of Augusta, Georgia. It's not Atlanta. It's about an hour and a half away. Still, they're going to be saying Georgia. He's a Georgia guy. He's going to get the hometown rub. Um, a little bit of reach, inch and a half, 3 inches of height. This is excuse me, Chris Moutinho's first fight at bantamweight in a minute. Oh wait, no, he fought at bantamweight last time. Excuse me, but he had taken a few fights at featherweight on the regional scene, just to get opponents. So probably no biggie there, and surprisingly pretty close in age, 31 and 32. So Jeannie, this one's you. I'm assuming. Well, you know what? Let me not assume. I don't like that look. Tell me you're not taking the plus
No,
775
there's
Chris
no way
Moutinho.
I'm picking. No, no,
Okay.
no, 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 no.
All right.
I listen. What did Chris Mutino do wrong to one of the UFC matchmakers? What did he do? Like, what else does he have to like? He
uh,
loses in his first UFC run. He goes and he does
mhm.
5 fights in a row by finish, and he
Yeah.
gets a fucking killer like Malcolm Wellmaker on short notice in his re-debut in the company. Like, what did he do wrong?
Mhm.
Seriously, who did he fucking badmouth, man? Malcolm
It's
Wellmaker, this
crazy.
guy's a beast. Cameron
Yeah,
Simon, like that win is incredible. That win is incredible. And Chris
it's a great
Mutino,
win.
you go back to his UFC run, he lost to Sean O'Malley. That was a 13-day notice fight. And he lost to what was the other guy?
Guido
Guido
Canetti.
Canetti.
Yeah.
Who? Standing
Okay. All right.
TKO'd against. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, Malcolm Wellmaker. This guy's polishing off his skills. His striking looks incredible. He's gonna put out Chris Mutino. There's levels. Who the
Yeah.
fuck? Who are any of these people he beat in the regional scene? How well does that tear that he went on translate to the UFC? I don't think it does. We see time and time again. Oh, this 7-0 prospect takes a short notice fight. It's a foot in the door move. Chris Mutino
Yeah.
might get another fight in the UFC because he helped them out.
I guess. Yeah. I know one guy, and it's only because I was there for one of his fights at Cage Titans. I just happened to be there. Not great. Yeah, this is round one knockout for Malcolm Wellmaker. I mean, you're telling me he must have been 43 at the time. 43-year-old Guido Canetti comes in here and knocks out standing TKO's Chris Moutinho. Yeah, he was a big favorite, minus 200 or something too.
It was
And
supposed to be a
Malcolm
layup.
Wellmaker, it was supposed to be a layup. And Malcolm Wellmaker, the guy who knocked out Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon will be in minus 900 against Chris Moutinho too, and he knocked him out. Um, so the easy, like that's all the time. Tribute, entertaining knockout. I'll say that. Um, let's just move on. Michael Chiesa and Court McGee. This is one I'm not 100% sure why it's on this card. Um, Chiesa notably was not on the UFC Seattle card, despite fighting out of Seattle. And also, Court McGee is from Utah, which is closer to Seattle than Atlanta, so it made sense to have them, both of them fight in Seattle. I don't know. Anyway, this is a vet fight to the core. Court McGee is 40 years old. Chiesa is 37. Um, Same reach, a little bit of height for Chiesa. Minus, let me get these numbers right. Minus 375 for Chiesa, plus 310 for Court McGee. McGee actually had a pretty nice last fight. Snapped a losing streak with a neck crank over Tim Means in the first round. That was pretty surprising. Chiesa, he didn't retire, but he took 2 years off or so. He took some time off, came back. Two fight winning streak though. Tony Ferguson and Max Griffin both by rear naked choke. So maybe a little bit of a, I don't want to say resurgence, but he's not as washed as we thought. Losing to Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, and Kevin Holland. Not bad losses. Not bad losses after what's been going on recently. So uh this one's me. Give me Michael Chiesa here. I think he really impressed me in that Max Griffin fight. First showing he can beat another vet, another crafty guy. Um, and on the other side, Court McGee lost to Alex Morono. He lost to Matt Brown and Jeremiah Wells. I think Chiesa has it on the feet here. I think he can strike if need be. I'll strike Court McGee. And then the grappling. Chiesa's on this season of Ultimate Fighter. So he's been in the gym out for a little bit, training with young, hungry guys at welterweight around his weight class. So you'd assume even if his skills aren't improving, that the cardio, the athleticism's still there. Um, and yeah, we haven't really seen anybody try to take down Court McGee in that long. So give me Chiesa here. I don't know if he finishes him. Court McGee, if it's on the feet, he's not super tough. But if he's getting taken down, if it's a grappling match, he is tough. So I don't know. Probably decision here. Wouldn't be surprised in anything here, but yeah, a little feel good for one of the vets, I guess. Yeah, you with me, Jeannie?
Yeah, I'll take Michael Chiesa, I guess. I mean, he just handed Max Griffin his first submission loss ever. Court
Yeah.
McGee, he's never been submitted before, but I mean, I guess if we're taking the O, then we're taking the O. Michael
Yeah.
Chiesa, he's been in the gym, been training those submissions, and Court McGee, he's 40 years old, man. I don't think he can. I don't think them knees are. I don't think he's going to be transitioning well on the ground. I think Michael Chiesa is going to get a takedown and a body lock and a submission
Yep.
at some point. I'll take a Chiesa submission.
All right. Well, sounds like you're a little more confident in the specific outcome than me, but like to hear it. Might be a good fight. Could be pretty bad though at the same time. Um, yeah. Next up, let's go to a fight that I think we also won't spend a lot of time on because we were you on the show for that UFC Apex card? You were on one of those
Yeah,
shows.
I think I might have been. Yeah, where we
Yeah,
broke down
either
this
way.
one.
Yeah, either way. Rodolfo Bellato and Paul Craig, 205 light heavyweight. Bellato, obviously your favorite, minus 350. Paul Craig, your underdog, plus 285. Not much to say here. This one was booked a few weeks ago, rescheduled to this card. Bellato had face herpes, or so the rumor is. I'm not going to go too in depth on their backgrounds because just rewind it to that UFC. Oh, who was the main event there? I know the co-main was Sadiq Youssef, right?
Oh, it was.
Burns versus Morales. There you
Yeah.
go. Because this was supposed to be a co-main, and that ended up anyway. Um, yeah. Paul Craig come back up to light heavyweight. Blotto, young hungry prospect. Age difference 29 versus 37. Reach for Blotto. Yeah. This one's Eugenie. I'm guessing it's nothing very different. Your breakdown isn't going to be much different as it was last time.
Yeah, no, it's pretty similar. I think Rodolfo Bellato's getting this done. I don't really value Paul Craig too much in 2025. I mean, he beat the champion. He's got to win over the current champion in the division, to be fair. He's submitted
Yeah, I
that guy.
guess. Yeah.
Um, but 4 of his last 5 fights are losses. Um, and you lose to Bo Nickel. I
Yep.
mean,
Bad fight.
yeah, bad fighter. And Rodolfo Bellato, this guy actually finishes people, so I'll say
Yeah.
Rodolfo Bellato is going to get Paul Craig. I'm not like, I don't think Rodolfo Bellato is incredible. He nearly lost to Pateria, but I don't see Paul Craig putting that type of beating on him. And to get Bellato out of there, I think it's got to be a KO. I think he's a
Yeah.
bit. I don't think Paul Craig's lacing up a submission here. I think
Nope.
Bellato's knocking him out.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Vitor Petrino KO him twice, and he's been hurt a little bit, but like you said, he's not. Um, it's pretty much sub or bust. Honestly, it's sub or bust in all his fights for Paul Craig, but especially in this one, he's not really a takedown guy either, which is tough for Paul Craig. And Blotto has 100% takedown defense. Granted, like we said last time, oh, excuse me, like we said last time, um, that's not like I think it was just three. Oh no, okay, it's 0 for 8 on people trying to take him down. So
Pretty good.
if Jimmy Crute and Murtaza Talha can't take you down, can Paul Craig? Probably not. So give me Blotto, first round KO, put Craig in a retirement home or something.
Is Paul Craig moving up in weight?
Yeah. He was at 185 last time against Bo Nickel.
Oh, true. Yeah. Okay.
So that's another thing. Late career weight changes,
Yeah.
never a good sign for the most part, unless you're. I guess Davison had kind of a he had a good run at
Yeah.
bantamweight, but besides that, nothing crazy. So let's move on. Also at light heavyweight, Omar Sy and Alonzo Menafield. Atomic Alonzo Menafield, UFC vet, 15 fights. Most recently had that weird split decision over Julius Walker at UFC Seattle. On the other side, Omar Sy is undefeated um, in the UFC, undefeated overall, 2-0 in the UFC. Dawoon Jung and the GOAT, Tuko Tokos, or his 2 wins. 29 for Sai, C, whatever you want to call him. He's French. He won't do anything about it. 37 on the other side. Sai's gonna have 7 inches of reach, 4 inches of height, and he's a pretty big favorite. I was surprised he was this big of a favorite. Minus 500, plus 375 on the other side for Menafield. Um, this is me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is me. You went for the Paul Craig. Pretty simple. Omar Sy's gonna take him down. Probably sub him. Probably sub him. 70% takedown defense for Alonzo Menafield. Granted, he's not fighting the best competition. Sy's a pretty good grappler. And I think Mirzakhanov took him down. Let me double check this. Um, Mirzakhanov did not take him down. He didn't even try. Oh, for one. Who took him down? I was like, oh, geez. Oh, Jimmy Crute took him down 6 times in their first fight. And William Knight took him down too. So he is no.
Shout out
There's not a
William
ton of
Knight.
sure. Yeah. He's not. He's not getting shot on by grapplers the size, the strength, and the capacity as Omar Sy, and his size look decent on the feet. I mean, we haven't seen him too much. I haven't watched a ton of his regional work. Um, it's he was in KSW and Aries, but it wasn't against guys that really like needed paying attention to. So yeah, give me Omar Sy here. Minus 500 is a little steep, but not a big deal. What about you?
Yeah, I will also be back in Omar Sy. Something I can't get out of my mind about Alonzo Menafield is that Carlos Ulberg fight. I get you don't want to get trapped into a kickboxing fight with Carlos Ulberg. You might end up
Yeah.
just circling around for 15 minutes and lose the fight. But for you to just sprint at the dude in the first 10 seconds and just throw just the worst, most stupid defensiveless
Ah,
shots I've ever seen, it was the worst game plan I've ever seen in my life. I've never got that out of my head about Alonzo Menafield. And I don't think I can. I think Umar Sy an 8 or 7 inch reach advantage here. That's
Yeah.
massive. That's absolutely massive. He's going to look like a foot taller than this guy. And
Hmm.
I see a KO for Umar Sy, who's got 5, I think, on his record already. He's got a
A
couple
KO.
submission
Interesting.
wins. Yeah. And
Yep.
yeah, Menafield, he's been knocked out a couple times before, and he's not a good game planner. He nearly lost to Julius Walker, who was punching with pillow hands half the fight. You go rewatch that. He was
Yeah.
tired as fuck. I picked Julius
Wasn't
Walker
good.
to win, and it was very close for Julius Walker winning with like zero power shots. So
Yeah.
I'll take
That was a
Umar
pretty
Sy.
bad performance. Like to hear it. And Manafield might be on the way out. Lost 2 of 3. If he loses this, he lost 3 or 4. Granted, it's light heavyweight, so he might be young. He's kind of mid of the road at 37. So got a lot of heavyweight sucks. Moving to a division that also kind of sucks, not as bad, and one guy who does suck, and the other who might not suck. Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. We know why this one's here too. Both USA guys. Brundage, however, fighting out of uh, Colorado. I could have sworn he was from Atlanta. Did he fight out of Atlanta at some point? He had something to do with Atlanta. I remember that. Anyway, um, yeah. Brundage, though, he's 5-5 with one no contest in the UFC. Abdul Malik, Abdul Malik is 2-0. Knocked out Nick Klein, knocked out Dusko Todorovic, which apparently isn't that is a little harder to do than we thought.
Ah,
Cody Brundage had that win over Julian Marquez, no contest against Abdulrazak Al got choked out by Bo Nickal. So kind of the action fighter for sure. All these are ending, inside 2, but I'll tell you, he is not the best of the best. So this is kind of a setup fight. One would think for Abdul Malik, who's 27. Brundage still youngish at 31. 7.5 inches of reach for Abdul Malik, despite them having the same height, so or a 2 inch of height difference, excuse me. And it's reflected there, minus 700 on the board for Abdul Malik, plus 500 for Brundage. Genie, this one's you. Do we need to put that much time in this, or
nope.
are you picking Cody
I-
Brundage?
I'll be short and sweet here. 8 inch reach advantage for Mansour Abdul Malik. You got a guy, Cody Brundage. He gets put out by most of the people he fights. He lost a
Yeah.
fight to Cedric Dumas, who
Yep.
is absolutely terrible.
Hmm.
Absolutely terrible. So,
He
yeah,
sucks.
no more time needs to be spent on this. Mansour
Hmm.
Abdul Malik is going to knock out Cody Brundage in the first round, and we will all look back at the times that we bet copious amounts of money on Cody Brundage to beat Julian Marquez. That's the last time we'll ever
Oh
be
my
able to do
God.
that.
I had $1,200 riding on that fight, I think. I did
Yeah, no, it's
I didn't realize
looking
it.
back, it's insane how much I had on that fight.
Yeah, and he didn't look like he should have.
It had me
Have you
sweating for a minute or two.
have you seen the odds yet for the over under?
For this fight, no, but I'd say probably
Take
under
a guess.
1.5 is minus 230.
Plus 135 for the under 1.5.
That's my money. That's where my money's going.
I thought, oh, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah,
Plus
yeah,
135. Oh my God.
that's crazy.
I'm sorry. I don't know if we haven't talked yet if you're going to be on best bets, but let me read you some of these. Let me read you Cody Brundage's last 7 fights in the UFC. Uh, round one, round one, 338 of round two, round one, round one, decision. 128 of round two, round one, round one, round one, decision. Round three, round one, decision. Round two, round one, round one. Even you go back to his amateur career. This is not a guy who was in there for 7.5 minutes. This is we'll talk about that later in the week, I'm sure. Um, did I say Mansour Blake destruction early, move on next, Um, Bantamweights, Raoni Barcelos and Cody Garbrandt. Yes, these two are still on the card, or still in the UFC. Barcelos had that huge upset win against Peyton Talbot in January, plus 710, the decision to him. He looked great. Um, Garbrandt on the other side, lost to Figgy last time out. Um, Two fight win streak before that against, kind of guys I wouldn't be proud to have a two fight winning streak against. I'll say that. Former champion, obviously, still pretty young. I was surprised he's still 33. Barcelos is 38. Inch of height for Garbrandt, but he'll be giving up 2 inches of reach. Um, and the board's interesting. Minus 158 for Barcelos, plus 130. Yeah, 138 on the other side for Garbrandt. I was pretty surprised here at these odds. I thought I'm thinking Barcelos is a little bit overhyped from that Talbot win. And
Yep.
I'm going Garbrandt here.
Yep.
He's not good anymore, but I think this will probably be a striking match. He's still got at least a good bit of power. I don't think Barcelos is going to try to take him down. And if he does, I think he'll be ready for it because he saw. If you can say anything about Cody Garbrandt, he's a decent game planner, even if he doesn't implement his game plans often. Um, and yeah, nothing in his like he's lost to really good guys, and nothing in those fights are like, yeah, he's going to lose to Raoni Barcelos. Unless Raoni Barcelos is just some kind of grappling savant and just we've never known because he hasn't tried it. Give me the underdog here. Would I be shocked either way? If you could tell me anything happens, you could tell me Raoni Barcelos flying heel hooks Cody Garbrandt, and I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. That being said, I'll go with the guy who had the higher peak at the very least.
Yep.
What about you?
I'm gonna go with Cody Garbrandt as well. You know, you got a guy getting up there in age, 38 years old. Everyone picked Peyton Talbot to knock out Raoni Barcelos last fight, so I
Yeah.
don't see why Cody Garbrandt isn't going to get that same rub when he's like way higher ceiling than Peyton Talbot, who he was champion before, and Raoni Barcelos. He's only ever been knocked out once before, but I do think he does get a bit overrated a bit. I don't think he's incredible, and I think Cody Garbrandt, his head movement's still good. He still shows off some of the skills that made him world champion. Especially in that Brian Kelleher fight, I get it's Brian Kelleher, but you go and look at how he looked in that fight, and it did really look like he was back. And
Yeah.
Davison Figueiredo, I mean, it's fucking Figgy. That dude's a beast. So I'll say Cody Garbrandt is going to come back here and he's going to get a bounce back win. I could see a knockout, and I get that might be a bit risky. Ryone's only ever been knocked out by Umar, but 38 years old, the chin's got to go at a certain point, and Cody Garbrandt's a nasty striker. He's a knockout guy. He's gonna. I could really see it. I might be putting my money there.
Interesting. I would not put money on it if I were you, but it's a free country.
Not
And
up
yeah,
here.
well, not down here either.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go. Surprisingly, I don't know. Do you want to make him the dog of the week? I really don't, but I guess by default he kind of has to be, right? Have we picked another underdog together? No, I don't think so. So, ugh,
Garbrandt's the
gross.
underdog.
Oh yeah, plus 130 something.
Oh,
Sorry, I
crazy.
just had it up. Plus 138, Barcelos minus 158. So,
Yeah, no,
um,
I'll make him underdog of the week. I like it.
all right. Half-hearted underdog of the week. Moving up, Edmund Shabazian, Andre Petrosky, 185. Petrosky is your underdog, plus 170. Shabazian minus 200. Um, Bazian still only 27 years old, despite all of his UFC experience. 2 inches of reach, 2 inches of height over Petrosky, who is 34. Um, Petrosky coming off a unanimous decision win against Rodolfo Vieira, 3-fight winning streak, all decisions. Shabazian on the other side bounced back with a knockout of Dylan Budka. Before that, he lost to Gerald Mearshart. So kind of a fight, uh, see where they're at fight, in my opinion, for both guys. And this is you, Jeannie. You going with the Golden Boy or Andrei Petrosky doesn't have a nickname, does he? Communism's number one fan, Andrei Petrosky.
Oh man, I'm going Shabazian. Petrosky keeps proving me wrong. I gotta say, he keeps proving me wrong. I watched
Mhm.
this guy get knocked out by the hip bone of Jacob Malkoun.
Yeah,
Edmund Shabazian should get him out of there early. He just knocked out Dylan Budka, a great KO early on. But he gasses. I will say, if this fight goes long, if Petrosky's able to get a takedown off, this might be a bad fight to watch. This might be a boring
yeah.
one. This might be Shabazian gasping for air in the second and third. But I'll say Shabazian first round KO because I don't really rate Petrosky's stand up at
No,
all.
no. And if Shabazian had or Petrosky had even a little bit more cardio, like if he were a great cardio guy, I would probably pick him here. The thing is though, like Shabazian's cardio, you said falls off. I think Petrosky's does too a little bit. People just don't realize it because it's mainly when he's grappling. So the question is, are you thinking like who's going to be either Shabazian gets him out super early, or Petrosky or Shabazian kind of take over after the other guy gasses? And so to me, it's just like there's a little bit more room for Shabazian to win here. A few more opportunities. So I'm going Shabazian. I hate minus 200 because he could easily um, Gerald Mears like Petrosky could pull Gerald Mearshart and just sub him once he gets the first takedown, right? So that being said, pick is Shabazian. We're not betting here. Yeah, co-main event. Rose Namajunas and Miranda Maverick. This is only 3 rounds, granted. Thug Rose, former champion, versus Miranda Fear the Maverick. So pretty good nickname battle here. Uh, Namajunas, your big favorite, minus 281. Maverick on the other side, plus 241. Namajunas lost her last fight to Aaron Blanchfield in where was that? What was that Edmonton?
Yes. Yeah.
Calgary? Yeah. That was in Edmonton. Um on the other side, Maverick is on a 4 fight winning streak, most recently beating Jamie Lynn Horth, who we just talked about in Tampa in December. Kind of a weird one. Um Namajunas, despite all of her experience, is still only 32. Maverick's still only 27. Very
That's
surprising.
insane.
I know. 2 inches of height for Namajunas, an inch of reach for Maverick. Um, and I was going back and forth here. I was going back and forth. I really don't like the price tag. I thought this was going to be closer to a pick 'em. I thought even like minus 120 for minus 125 for Rose plus whatever on the other side. Um, yeah, kind of a weird one. And give me Miranda Maverick here. I don't think this is going to be pretty, but I think that she can kind of hold Rose against the fence for a few rounds. Rose has not been a great defensive grappler for the most part. Blanchfield, like as soon as Blanchfield wanted to start grappling, she won the fight because she decided to strike with Rose for 2 rounds for some reason. Carlos Esparza's been able to take her down. Zhang Wei Li, you look at that um, 5 round that 5 rounder that Rose won against Zhang. You think Rose took her down a bunch? Zhang got 5 takedowns there. Rose only got 2. Um, so I think Miranda can hold her down, um, even just hold her against the cage for a little bit and kind of barely. Maybe there's a little bit of a robbery. Maybe you get. It's not hometown. Where's Miranda Maverick from? Um, oh, geez. Denver, Colorado? I guess are they both Coloradoans? She's from Missouri. Okay, no, Missouri's not close. Never mind. Maybe she gets a little bit of the rub. Either way, Miranda Maverick, give me a fun dog fight. What about you? Are you going with
So
the
when I
PhD
was
student?
when I was thinking of this, I thought it was a 5 rounder. I'm glad you said it was a 3 rounder there when you at the start. That makes it a bit more interesting. I'll say,
Yeah.
Miranda Maverick, she I mean, a lot of her fights are close. The thing is with Miranda Maverick, you go through a fight with her. People were calling that Jamie Lynn Horth fight a robbery. I remember. People were calling it.
What?
I remember a lot of people. They always call Miranda Maverick fights robberies. They don't like her style at all. And I listen, Rose Namajunas. She's a great striker. She's a nasty striker.
Hmm.
And Miranda Maverick totally could win this one by control time and all that. But I think Rose Namajunas is just a bit too high level. She's
Mm,
piecing up Blanchfield, and that was a pretty close fight too. Like it was a 3-2 fight, but
yeah.
Rose was still in it, and I think Blanchfield's definitely on a higher level than Miranda Maverick as well. I think Rose Namajunas, this is just going to be a decision win. It might be close, might be a split decision. I could see a split
Mm,
decision. Maybe Maverick wins the second round. She gets a takedown after getting outstruck, and then third round she wins with control time. First and second, Namajunas seems to be outstriking her. I could see a scenario like that, and then it goes to a split. But I
hmm.
do see Rose just being able to keep at range for the first little bit, piecing her up, and get this done. I think she's going to want it.
Mm.
She's the best after all, right?
She's the best.
I'm the best.
Uh,
I'm the best.
you're the best. That's the other thing. I just don't think she has the. I don't think she has the desire anymore. I mean, this is very clearly a stay busy fight. Like Rose isn't fighting for the title off this. Um, and she's at least 2 or 3 wins away from a title shot, right? And I don't know. I don't know if she has it anymore. Like she's 32. She wants to go be with her groomer boyfriend or groomer husband and on their farm. Maybe this is just a way make a little bit more money. Either way, yeah, I don't know. Probably a boring fight though, I think, unfortunately for me. Unfortunately for all of us. And with that, let's go to the main event, which might be boring. It might not. We'll see. Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley. Buckley, your big favorite, minus 250. Usman plus 210 on the other side. Buckley is fighting out of Missouri. He's been in Atlanta for a solid few months though, from what I've been told. Um, 7 fight winning streak. No, 6 fight winning streak. First main event, KO'd Colby Covington, Dr. Stoppage. Kamaru Usman on this side, 3 fight losing streak, has not won a fight since November of 2021, has not fought since October of 2023. Buckley's 7 years younger at 31. He will be giving up 2 inches of height, but they have the same reach. Jeannie, this one's you. You going with the Nigerian Nightmare or New Mansa?
So this is a brutal fight, I think, for Usman to come back into.
Yeah,
Um, he's got bad knees. This is public information for the past
yeah,
how many years we've been saying this guy's got
at
weak
least
knees.
a few.
Yeah, I think when he was champion, that was the narrative when he was champion was that this guy's his knees are starting to go. They're really bad
Yeah,
knees. And then he started going on this losing streak, and I feel like Buckley's a guy that really inflicts a lot of damage. Like
yeah,
he's a brutal, brutal guy. For a bit he wasn't getting the rub he deserved. He this is
no,
a recently he's kind of starting getting gassed up a bit, which well deserved. Finishing Wonder Boy and Colby Covington back to back.
yep.
Incredible wins. Incredible wins. I think that Ruzaboev fight, I might have picked Ruzaboev in that one. I don't know. Looking
I
back.
think I did. Yeah,
Um, but I think Buckley's just going to be way more dynamic, and Usman is he's not going to be prepared for this type of fight. I don't think he has
no,
it in him anymore. I really don't. I see Buckley just putting a lot of hurting on him and getting him out of there in the first or second.
yeah.
I think a KO is happening here, and it's going to be like a changing of the guard, kind of sad, like Usman's getting beat up. Oh my God, Usman's getting pieced up. Stop it. Oh, he's against the fence. Oh, he can't defend.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's just gonna be brutal, you know? So
I think it's going to be sad indeed. I don't think Kamaru Usman likewise has it in him anymore because he's going to have to dig hard and deep to beat Joaquin Buckley in here,
yeah.
and I don't think he can consistently do it. I don't think he has a desire. I don't think he has the knees. He's 38. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He hasn't won in almost 4 years now. Um, Still very good. Still some fights out there he can win. Not this one though. So give me Buckley second round KO. Pretty sad, I think. Pretty sad, but hopefully not a boring. I don't think this one will be boring. Unless Usman like grinds out 5 rounds somehow,
somehow.
which I kind of doubt.
If he's able to do
Uh,
that, man.
I kind of doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's UFC Atlanta. Usman versus Buckley should be a decent card. Decent card, even if it's not the most high level, should be a decent card. Let's jump right into Regional Minute, giving you the non-UFC action going on this week. I got a few different sports for you. UAE Warriors 59, MMA going down Thursday at 11. First of two cards for UAE Warriors. This first one, you might know Omran Shaban from the uh, most recent season of Tough. It's on UFC Fight Pass, I believe, 11 a.m. It's just, if you want some fights on while you work or something. BKFC 76 going down Thursday at 8 p.m. on DAZN and YouTube. Andrei Arlovski is debuting in the promotion. You got Jessica Ai fighting boxing Maria Agapova. Um, yeah, decent card. If you're an MMA fan and you want to see MMA names out there, and BKFC, it's never not fun. I'll tell you that. Um, Tony Soto, who I don't know if he's related to Joe Soto, but I would be interested to see. PFL has got their World Tournament, the fifth edition semifinals, whatever. It's welterweights and featherweights. Some good names, some good fights here. Jason Jackson, Thad Jean should be a good one. Jesus Pinedo and Gabriel Braga should be a real great one. Um, the usual featherweight and welterweight PFL names you got on here, even if it's an alternate, Berkhamaz and oh wait, no, he's in the tournament. There's some alternates in there. Oh, Umalatov's back in as an alternate, that kind of thing. UAE Warrior 60, the second part goes down Friday at 11 a.m. Tanner Boser making his UAE Warriors debut back up at 285 against Minikis Maria. And then yeah. Oh, there's another fight on here I wanted to mention. I guess it fell off though. Uh, LFA 210 going down Friday at 9 p.m. Not a great card. You got a few prospects, Christian Tividad there, but main event's on to write home about. Not one of their stronger showings this year. Icon 72, Vimola versus Beck. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Three for the Infinity Championship for Saturday at noon. I think it's pay-per-view. I think he got paid like $10. Mahmoud Muradov, you remember that guy? He's fighting for their interim middleweight championship. Um, got a few other, Octagon guys over there. Uh, Glory 100 kickboxing going down Saturday at noon. Artem Vakhtov and Rico Verhoeven are fighting for the heavyweight championship, which is a great fight. Donovan Weiss and some guy are fighting for the middleweight championship. Four title fights, and if you know kickboxing at all, it's a good kickboxing card. They got the second round of their 265-pound 32-man tournament going down, so that's pretty fun. Um, Almost done. Actually, that's not true. We got four more here. KSW 107, DeFries versus Wojciech. Phil DeFries is defending his heavyweight championship against the 6-0 guy. Special Princess is defending his bantamweight championship against some guy. A few other names there. If you know KSW. Aries FC starting at 1 p.m. on Fight Pass. Axel Sola should be on the Contender Series, but he's defending his lightweight championship. And then you got Josh O'Connor also should be on the Contender Series defending his featherweight championship in the co-main. Um, Saturday at 7 p.m. BKFC Fight Night Mohegan Sun. Parker Porter. Yes, that Parker Porter's main eventing. You also got Jorgen De Castro, Brennan Ward, Rico DeShulio, that double hammer fist guy from Tough. Um, Peter Barrett, New England regional guy. Randy Costa, former UFC fighter. Pretty good card if you're a fan of New England regional MMA. BKFC Ice Wars. Now, there's no names um, on this card that I was like I really wanted to mention, but BKFC is their first ice. How would you describe this? Ice boxing? event. You haven't heard of this?
I haven't heard of that at all. What is like hockey
Uh,
fights?
it's hockey fights with bare knuckle, essentially. I don't know if they got a helmet on or not. It's going on in
Do they
Mount
have like
Pleasant,
shirts to
Michigan.
grab onto?
Zero clue. I know almost nothing about this. Uh,
Interesting.
but BKFC, they've been on a roll lately. 8 p.m. You wouldn't know anybody. It's all Canadians versus USA guys, random guys. But I'll be probably actually no, I'll be at the arena. If I wasn't, I'd be tuning in, seeing what it's about, and then clicking off. Mount Pleasant, Soaring Eagle Casino Resort. Shout out, pretty good casino. I've been there a few times. Yeah. And then last but not least, well, I guess that's it for Regional Minute. Um, Pretty good cards, pretty stacked week. Number of different sports and promotions for you. And before we get you out of here, UFC Fight Night, Hill versus Roundtree going on next Saturday, Baku, Azerbaijan, June 21st. Pretty good card. It's kind of just turned into UFC Russia, in my opinion, with a weird American on American headliner. But Jeannie, you know how we do around here. What is your favorite fight from next week's card?
Hmm. I've been looking forward to this Hill versus Roundtree fight since last summer when it first got made. So I think
Oh, really?
I've got to say that one. When this got made last summer after Jamal Hill lost to Pereira the first time, this got made like the next Tuesday after he lost to
Yeah,
Pereira.
that was weird.
Yeah. I thought at that time it was a bad time to make that fight. Now we've got Jamal Hill's had a lot of time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
I really want Jamal Hill to win this fight, man. I really want him to win this fight. I've been I've liked Jamal Hill. I think
Hmm.
he gets underrated. I do think his foot movement's a little terrible, but he did have a great performance to win the belt. And if he can
Yeah.
tap into that again, I think we could see a good fight here. But to not give you one that's the main event, let me just scroll through this real quick. Oh man, you know, this is going to be a banger on the the start of the main card. Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Bogdan Grad. He cashed the first sparring sessions parlay ever, if you remember back
He
in the
did.
start of
He did.
February. And Naimov, I can't wait to see Bogdan Grad hopefully beat this guy. Hopefully, so that'll be a great fight. Can't wait
Okay.
to watch that one.
That'll be interesting. Mine, I got to go with Miktabik Orobai and Tofik Masayev. Masayev coming over from Bellator, where he was in their Grand Prix and had some pretty good fights. Going up against Miktabik Orobai, who is pretty damn good. Lost a split decision to Rubetsky, but for the most part, this should be a banger. Special shout out, obviously, greatest fight of all time, Hamdi Abdelwahab versus Muhammad Usman. Uh, yeah, that's going down next week. Um, Super fun. Looking forward to that. But yeah, noon start time is what I'm really looking forward to. We get an
That'll be fun.
afternoon MMA. So, Jeannie, thanks for coming on. Hopefully, you enjoy this card a little less than I do from from the arena. But yeah, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure we'll see you on one of the shows next week.
Yep.
And thank you for listening, for watching. Hopefully, you enjoy the card as well, and yeah, we'll see you for best bets in a few days. Adios.